Alrighty folks, welcome back to Pungo Paints. On this edition of Let's Paint, I think we're going to try something a little different here. As you can see, we got our model kind of broken up right now. I've already got the pauldrons and the head kind of attached using the tacky stuff. I got everything laid out more or less. Shouldn't need anything else, any kind of prep work. But either way, like I said, we're going to try something a little different, a little special. We're going to do a Khorne Night Lord. Now, I've already experimented with doing something kind of like this. Here's your example. This is a Slaaneshi Night Lord. If you follow me online on Instagram or anything else, you may have seen this already. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of this one. I very much like it. And I've been hesitant about doing the Khorne Night Lord, only because the color scheme kept flashing through my head. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. Do I do red? Do I do all blue? And go figure, now that I bring it up, I'm brain farting, double, triple thinking what I should do. Basically what we were going to do, we have our two main colors here. Night Lord Blue was going to be used for both pauldrons and most likely the helmet. Backpack is up for debate, but we are going to go with Flesh Terror Red. I don't use contrast paints how other people use them. Well, I assume I've seen some of my friends paint and how they use them and whatnot. I honestly just kind of apply it as a base coat. Now, I've already primed everything in a basic flat gray. But either way, I believe our game plan is going to be Flesh Terror Red for the whole thing. Give it a nice dark tone. Then use the Night Lord's Blue on everything else. Now, it's a little bit backwards from what I was doing here, whereas everything is Night Lord Blue, and then of course I have the pink on the shoulders. I wouldn't mind doing this. However, it's the insignia. We're going to be trying something a little sketchy here, I guess. I've got it cut out right over here. Basically, if I can get this thing to show. All right. So the coloring's a little weird. So that's a Khorne symbol. I cut it out. And then on each side, we're going to be putting Night Lord wings. Now, that is the reason why I'm not going with blue armor with red pauldrons. I would love to, but we're just not going to do it. It's going to be a little bit too much of a pain. I don't think the insignia is going to show up as well as I want it to. So we are going to switch things up. We're going to go with red and then blue on the shoulders and whatnot. Hopefully it comes out well. Like I said, I've been tossing around the idea in my head, and I keep going back and forth, and it's really hard to pick a spot. Either way, let's say we kick this pig, get things going. All right, now this is normally how I paint a model. Everything broken down, as long as I keep it pretty open. I debated on putting the leg up here, but honestly, I want to be able to get to all of the pieces, all of the detail in there if I can. Either way, like usual, let's start with get my palette set up. We're going to be starting with black because we're going to hit those soft spots, the soft bits of the armor. All right. I'm going to grab my tiniest brush. It is very frayed nowadays because I've been painting like a madman. Kind of almost burnt myself out on it. In preparation for Tidewater Comic-Con, for like 2 weeks straight, I was cranking out a mini a night. And honestly, I had the ideas. I wanted to get inventory set up, get some new stock in there. But also, like I said, I just kind of had the ideas. So I was striking while the iron was hot. Shooting while the bolter was loaded. So I just kind of went with it. Went with my gut instinct. Just kind of followed everything as I saw fit. Either way, though, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. We're doing okay over here. I honestly don't know how long this mini will take me. The Chaos minis have taken me a little longer than usual, only because, there's so much more detail, and I'm already not that fast of a painter. So, we'll see. We'll see. I know the first episode I ever did, or first series, I should say, that I ever did was the Cacarodons. I painted that Tactical Sergeant. Let's get in there. And what, that took... I think that took 4 episodes. And in real time, that was about 4 hours. These Chaos Space Marines, I want to say, take me about 4 to 6 hours. Hopefully, this does not take me that long. Right now, what is today? I'm painting on a Wednesday. Yeah, so in 2 days, give you guys a kind of a timestamp here. In 2 days, Mortifactors episode 3 will air. That is kind of when I'm doing this. And I was prepared to push it back, just in case, because honestly, with the weather have been what it's been lately, we weren't sure if it was going to be rain and whatnot, and I, can't exactly prime when it's raining like that. And honestly, I even debated on whether or not I should prime, only because with the 2 main colors, I haven't had too much of a problem just applying them without primer. The contrast paint, however, yes, very watery, but it doesn't really bunch up. It doesn't pool gunk up and get all blotchy when I apply it very thickly. So either way, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I also couldn't decide on music today. So the music choices right now is just a good old-fashioned ambiance video. It is Mass Effect. I might throw on some music later when I get a little more inspired or something, or when I guess just something strikes my fancy. I don't know, ever since my iPod died, I haven't known what to listen to anymore. That and like in the mood for new music. However, nothing's still been striking me as what I would really like to listen to. I had a nice kick with Muse for a while. Just recently, I kind of had a kick with the Talking Heads. Is there any soft spot? Negative. All right. How about you? Oh, no. You bare arm. Duh. Helmet. You got a neck piece. So, yeah. I just haven't known exactly what I really feel like listening to anymore. I believe I've mentioned it before. My iPod and whatnot. Yes. I still use an iPod. It was a refurbished Gen 5, I want to say, because when I was younger, I had a Gen 5. First one I ever had was stolen at a party. And then second one I got just Not exactly sure what happened. It just kind of died. Third one broke. I think it dropped. Either way, I remember my vape juice when I was vaping gunked up the insides of my my last iPod. So I had a big sad. It was terrible. But yeah, it happens. It really does happen. Alright, so, that should be all the soft parts. I should do this, honestly, since I got the blackout. Yeah. Let's try to be thorough and not jump around on the model again. At least on these, the little bolter pistols, I try to be a little more careful when it comes to these symbols, just because I don't want to repaint them. I want them to show up a lot better than they might. It can get challenging, but, if it wasn't a challenge, I guess none of us would be doing it. None of us would ever get any better. Me. Get in there. Me. Yeah, we got it. Honestly, I'm a little thrown off. I'm just still not used to having a quiet house. It's almost, but that's silly. That's some silly stuff. No reason to fret. While I'm thinking about it, one very loyal follower that I've had almost since the beginning, Dude Man Overseas, you know who you are. I'm just going to shout out your Instagram name, because honestly, it hit me the other night. We have not, at least to my recollection, you have to pardon me, man, if we have. Memory is not what it could be. I don't think it ever was the greatest, but still. Homeboy across the water. The good old Biggest Dickus. That dude is awesome. He's been supporting me very much over these past few months while I've been trying to do this and build a community around it. Because honestly, I would like to reach out. We could have our own little thing going. Dare I say a clique. We all know how that goes. But we would be the cool kids for once. Not that we ever weren't the cool kids. Because honestly, the quote-unquote cool kids in school, none of my friends liked them. And they were never the people to actually hang out with. If you were one of those quote-unquote cool kids, what's up? Welcome to the channel. I see you doing nerd things. Okay. Clean the brush a bit. So, yeah, once again, what's up, Biggest? I'm sorry we haven't really exchanged proper names. Again, if we had, my bad, dude. Life is life. Lots of things going on. But anyway, like I was saying, big shout out to him because he's been very supportive and awesome. He's a real good dude. Very much enjoy, I was about to say his company. His spiritual company. He is a Nergalite, though, so you gotta watch out for that. He might stink. I'm messing, man. You be alright. Either way, I wanted to, now that I'm really pausing here and looking at this, so I kind of wanted to get maybe my palette in the shot a little bit. It doesn't really matter. However, this little bad boy has been sitting in the shot. It's got water, so I got to be careful. But yeah, this thing I painted. I spotted one of these at my local game shop and whatnot, and I thought, dude, that'd be kind of cool to paint. What is that? And why are you there? You should not be there. Whatever. You weren't there yesterday. Either way, yeah, I thought this would be an interesting little random project. I think at the time I was getting a little bored painting the minis. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint that, and I painted it, just some good old fashioned, I guess, Blood Angels colors. I should get a white Blood Angels logo and put it on there. That'd be nice, right there at the shield. Anyway, we've got this Flesh Terror open now, so why don't we grab this trusty brush that I just cut the other day to try to give a new edge, and I'm gonna try to get his foot and his shin, probably even his knee. I'm gonna try to get all that done, and this little part right here, you know what? We'll just get some brown out for that right now. We're gonna go with that oak brown. That way I can put it on the base and not just be holding the mini and rubbing off all the primer that I, spent an all of a minute and a half to spray on there. And if anybody was wondering about the primer, it was just a flat gray by good old Rust-Oleum. So nothing fancy. Didn't bother to use any Citadel colors. Nothing wrong with it. I just didn't bother. Just get on there, man. Come on. Slap it to paint. However, you know what? Since we haven't really talked about it yet, and not a lot of my friends seem very interested to discuss it. Comic-Con, Tidewater Comic-Con, that was fun. That was pretty darn fun. Very interesting experience. Didn't know what we were gonna do per se. I mean, we set up a booth and everything, and we sold some of our products. I know one guy went home with my Noise Marine, and he seemed pretty excited about that thing. I believe he said he was going to be new to 40K, I believe. Or maybe he'd already been into it, but he was looking for a new army. It's hard to remember, honestly. We talked to so many people there. Either way, though, I hope you're still enjoying that Noise Marine. I had fun painting it. And I did not go, I guess, proper coloring. A buddy of mine, he plays Noise Marines for his army, and everything's black and pink, and of course I went with pink and white. So I was like, I don't want black. I want those good old traditional colors. And speaking of traditional colors, so this is a Khorne Berserker model, if you haven't been already able to tell that. It's a Khorne Berserker. I only have 1 or 2 left now in that pack. I'll talk about those other projects in a minute, but I've been saving one of them in particular because I wanted to do a traditionally colored, World Eater Khorne Berserker. I know that's not exactly an original idea, but I didn't really care. I love the traditional colors. More and more, I've been getting bored, I guess you could say, of, no offense to certain legions out there, like like my parent chapter of the Blood Angels. But yeah, like, so the Blood Angels, I always remembered them being very ornate and everything because they are, artistic and whatnot. However, when I was looking them up again just to double check for reference sake, everything was red, and that was basically it. Nothing on the trim of the shoulders, nothing. That kind of bummed me out. I was like, I could have swore you had gold trim on your shoulders and whatnot. And I suppose that actually depends on the Marine and even the era. So I know 30K stuff, so much more detailed, and I miss it. It makes sense though, 40K, they don't have time for all that flash and whatnot. It's, here's your armor, get out there, fight, and die for the Imperium. It happens. It happens. I haven't forgotten about the Tybar Comic-Con. I'll jump back to that. Go figure. I'm focusing on not jumping around on the mini, so I'm jumping around my conversation. Either way, I took some liberties with the paint scheme. I basically just added the gold trim. Whoop-de-doo. And I know that's basically rule number one when it comes to painting your models. You can paint them any damn color you want. It doesn't matter. No one's exactly going to give you much crap for it. They might tease you in a fun way, but like, oh man, why'd you do with that? Blah, 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 blah. But no one's, at least not in my experience, no one's really going to sincerely dog you for your color choices. You do what you do, make your decisions, that be that. Like for this little experiment here we got going on, I chose Flesh Terror Red, even though he's going to be a Night Lord. I would love to put all the Night Lord blue on him, but for what I have, it's that damn shoulder. For what I have planned, that's just how it's going to have to work. And it's whatever. It is whatever. All right, so like I said, I've got that whole knee situation. I'm going to clean my brush real quick. This paint pot has been awesome, by the way. If anybody is really wondering, I know 9 times out of 10 people just use like a coffee mug or something, and that's what I did. But if you ever felt like getting an actual paint pot, worth it. These things were really cool. I really like it. It has worked out. And painting it was pretty fun. I had a couple of mishaps. The black primer didn't come out how I wanted it to in a few spots, so I got out my black paint, and then I realized, oh my goodness, the black paint that I had used was matte, whereas the primer I had used was satin, so it stuck out like a sore thumb. I had to dig out. I did find my Vallejo. It's a gloss, but either way, I mean, satin's gloss. Either way, it worked out pretty well. All things considered, in the end, I mean, when you look at it, you can't exactly tell that I had those big mishaps with it. All right, so we got that set up, and we're going to kind of let that dry for a little bit. Make sure nothing really happens. So, yeah, those are going to be blue. That's a leather glove. What do we do with the chain sword? It's not really focusing. My apologies for the focus factor here. It happens. Let's see. Meh. We could always do the other leg. Yeah. We'll start with the other leg while we got a little bit of time. Like I determined in the Mortifactor videos, we're going to try to keep these at like 30 minutes-ish. These episodes, just because sitting there for an hour, Like, God forbid you're not painting. If you're just watching, one, thanks, you're awesome. But I almost couldn't imagine sitting there for an hour just watching someone paint. I say that as if I haven't sat there for hours watching paint videos. It's a little different when you're jumping around watching different videos. But 30 minutes doesn't seem so bad. 30 minutes goes by pretty quick. We're already at the 25-minute mark. All right. Speaking of being at the 25-minute mark, we're just going to go ahead and cut it off right here, I guess. Maybe? You know what? I promised I would talk about the Comic-Con thing, so let's talk about it. A little bit more, at least. So, like I said, Comic-Con was awesome. Really fun. Big shout out to 2 vendors there. Brittany Dinosaur and Suitable Beasts. They are awesome. And you should totally look them up. They have some great products. And they're just fantastic people. I actually went to school with Brittany Dinosaur and her husband, Khorne. You guys are awesome. I want to thank all of them for all of the help that they gave me, all of the information and whatnot, because I had no idea what I was doing. Trying to set up the Square app, just in general on what to do for Comic-Con, when to show up. The site, they email you and they give you all kinds of information and whatnot, but still, it's never a bad idea to ask someone who's actually been there. I'm like, hey, cool, they say this. What do you think? You should show up probably an hour earlier than that. And I'm like, okay, will do. But 2-day event, it was hard to tell if there were more people this year, only because they actually did open it up. So I remember last year, very crowded, very cramped. But this year they opened it up very much, and that was very much appreciated by a lot of us. I didn't get a chance to talk to too many vendors out there, but I think most people were pleased. I remember Comic-Con the convention center had gotten a lot of complaints about how cramped it was. Even just as guests, last year we were like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me, dude? It's too much. There's just not enough room. But it seemed like they opened up the hall to include the other hall. And I want to say everything worked out very nicely. And with that being said, this is all actually working out pretty nicely. I very much do enjoy that Flesh Terror Red. And that's not just my bias. I know I am very biased when it comes to the Flesh Terrors. They're the best. Get over it. But either way, I'm going to see you guys on the next round. So, let me know in the comments, actually. I've been considering doing a couple of things, like a Patreon. Maybe something else. I'm not quite sure. Things are up in the air. We're in the middle of creating some new products, at least for the Etsy shop or anything. Differing things. I'm not trying to pigeonhole myself with Warhammer. For instance, on this Let's Paint series, I am going to be doing Star Wars figures eventually. I want to do D&D, because me and my group of friends, we have decided to start D&D again. Session 1, my character died. Awesome. But it's okay, we got a plan for it. And I haven't bothered to think of a backup character, so either way. But like I said, if you guys think a Patreon would be a cool idea, let me know. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel this kind of way. I know supporting the channel in a straight up YouTube fashion, it takes a while. You got to build up a certain amount of following and everything. And by all means, please spread the word. I have plans for the future. And I want this to grow, and I want you guys to be a part of it. I actually very much want it to be inclusive with you guys. Either way, for now, yeah, let me know if Patreon seems like something. And if you have any ideas on like certain benefits from contributing to a Patreon, let me know on those too, because I have a couple ideas, but meh. So if you can think of something, let me know and toss it to the meat grinder, see what happens. Either way, I guess we'll see you guys on the next episode. So stay tuned next week. And may the Void Father guide your brush. Take it easy, y'all.